Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. So, one of the things that I'm actually really happy about in this episode is that Ted King was in it, aka Mr. Alcazar. Now he's Jack, and apparently he is Finn's dad. Now, I don't know the whole story behind that, because when he was sitting there talking to Sheila, he made it very clear that he didn't want Finn to know who he was because of, I guess, the woman that he was with. And he did some kind of shady. I'm not entirely too sure what the whole story is with that. But he said, I think Sheila said something along the lines of, either blackmailing her or conning her into raising her son. So I don't know if it has something to do with his foster mother and him. I'm not really too sure about the whole story. All I know is that this guy, the minute that Finn was there, he was nervous. He was nervous as hell. He's sitting there watching Finn and Sheila talk to each other. He's just like... And I'm just like, bro... like, yo, you alright? You good? Like, what is with all this? Like, what was that about? And Finn was sitting there talking to Steffi, and Steffi was like, I'm proud of you for, pretty much kind of doing what I say. And, Finn was like, what it really came down, he wanted to know more about his dad. He wanted to find out more information about his dad. And I don't remember if, Steffi was like, oh, you're not going to get it through Sheila, right? Like, she wants to make sure that Finn has 0 to negative numbers contact with Sheila. So that they would sit there and probably, hire a PI or something like that. Now, Finn goes to the restaurant to eat. He runs into Sheila. And... Sheila's like, hey, listen, since Steffi isn't going to be here, I'd love to sit there and spend some time with you. And she is at that point where she's like, I'm not too proud to beg. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, Finn, Finn is just like, alright, just for a few minutes. I mean, you sort of look in his face like his heart was breaking, Just seeing this woman want to beg to sit there and spend time with him. And yeah, he has a commitment to his wife and he wants to sit there and do right by her. But, he's also human, So he allows her to sit down and he starts talking about his dad. And he's like, do you have any information on my dad? Like, what's going on? Just a lot of questions and sit there. And at first he's like, yo, is Deacon Sharp my dad? And she's like, no. So he wants to know who his dad is. Sheila's looking kind of guilty, like she's looking at him, but she's also sitting there looking at where Jack is, like, he's asking me a lot of questions. I don't want to say anything to blow your cover or whatever, but at the same time, he's my son. So you just see, it's starting to crack a little bit, like she wants to say who his dad is, but at the same time, she knows that Jack doesn't want, he wants that information to get out because not really too sure why. Liam and Hope. My goodness. Hope, I felt like we just watched this episode yesterday. I mean, Hope is sitting there talking about how she wants to sit there and get to know her dad. She wants to give him a second chance. She's firm on this. This is what she wants. And Liam is all like, think about the kids. It's like, I get where he's coming from. I really do. He's like, what about the kids? What kind of example does that set if he disappoints you again? And it just seems like he doesn't want to say flat out, no, we ain't doing this and that's the end of that. You know, he's sitting there trying to talk and reason with her. And, he even said one time, he even said, like, oh, well, about that whole, Bill thing, when I met Bill, it was great. It was opportunities out the wall. But with you, it's just going to be, disappointment and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, bro, didn't we just have this conversation before when Hope was like, yo, Bill got a bunch of chances that he shouldn't have got. And yet, we still supported him. I still, came around or whatever. Like, we supported him. He got to sit there and spend time with his grandchildren. Why can't Deacon not do the same thing? And, so when I'm watching this episode today, and I see her say, and I see him sit there and say, oh, well, it was Deacon. I mean, with Bill, it was good because I got opportunities. I was like, did you just not hear a word what she just said? I mean, literally. And that's the thing. Did he just forget about the conversation? Because he literally said that, yeah, you're right. You're right. When they did, when she did the comparison. And now it's, oh, well, I had a whole bunch of opportunities. I'm like, okay, so nothing, and that's the thing. Nothing got resolved. Nothing got resolved, and Hope was like, I gotta go to work. I don't want to sit there and obsess about this all day. They do their little head hug or whatever. And I'm just sitting there thinking, man, you really want to have this whole conversation before you went to work? Like, really? That seems more like an afternoon conversation, like at the end of the day, when you don't have to sit there and be stressing about thinking about what kind of argument or fight you had. You save those conversations towards the end of the day. You don't do that at the ass crack of dawn. Like, I don't understand how that works, but, and nothing happened. Nothing got resolved. And when you sat there and you looked at Brooke and Ridge, it was damn near the same thing. Ridge wants to get rid of Deacon at all costs. Hell, he wants to sit there and march down to the cabin and be like, yo, listen, we gotta sit there and present a united front. Now, Brooke doesn't want to sit there and push away her daughter because her daughter was like, yo, listen, I'm out. If we gotta sit there and keep butting heads about this, we ain't doing it. So she doesn't want to sit there and cause more friction with her daughter. And all she says is like, yo, listen, let Liam get a chance to talk. Let them work it out. Because she's more worried about the fact that if they don't work it out, they're going to have a fractured marriage. It's going to cause problems in their marriage, and that's what she doesn't want. That's what she doesn't want. So she's like, yo, listen, let them handle it. Let them work it out. And, Ridge are like, oh, we got to sit there and do everything in our power. And I was like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? What, are you going to hire a bunch of dogs or goons or whatever, sit there and, like, take them out to the desert and, like, what is your plan? What is your plan? I don't understand that. You just feel if you just sit her down. And that's when Brooke was like, yo, listen, she's a grown adult. We can't sit there and tell her what she can and can't do. I know a lot of people don't like Brooke. And, I'm not going to lie. I kind of sense some, you know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of felt that way a little bit. But she made a good point. What are you going to do, Ridge? All you sat there and did for about 20-something minutes was sit there and say, oh, we can't let him anywhere near Hope. He's dangerous. He's this, he's that, he's the third. We got to think about the kids. I didn't see one idea come from this man. Hell, I didn't see one idea come from Stephanie. She was saying the same thing. I'm like, that's good. That's good. And so what's your plan? And that means, oh, you got nothing. Oh, okay, cool. Like, just watching those two complain and sit there and say, how we gotta sit there and stop Deacon, but has not once sat there and said how, is just, like, kind of laughable at that point. It is. Granted, these are supposed to be people that's in charge of, like, this multi-million-dollar company, and yet they haven't come up with one single idea about, forming a plan. Now, Thomas comes in, and I'm going to be honest. Thomas, I'm like, bro, why did you bother to come to work today? I mean, that's just like for the actor. Like, why did you bother to come in for today? What did he actually do? He came in there, and Finn left, and the only thing that Thomas actually sat there and did was, hey, why don't you sit there and be with your husband? oh, you know what? That tomorrow's project, I'm gonna sit there and take care of it. You carry the kids. You deserve a night out. That's literally what he did. I mean, granted, that's cool. That's sweet. You know, being a big brother and everything like that, or a brother. But you didn't really do too much to like what did you do? You came in there and you practically gave Steffi the afternoon off. Awesome. That's so great. I'm not gonna lie, I love this show. It is definitely funny. Don't get me wrong, it definitely does have its good moments. It really does. Even if those good or let's say funny moments aren't meant to be funny. So I sit there and I complain, or like nitpick or whatever. I'm still gonna watch the show, but it seems like that, and especially since this show was so short. It's like 17 or 18 minutes. And Thomas came in, he was all like, "Hey, I can come back for that meeting. Okay, we're gonna stay. Oh, why don't you leave for the meeting? Oh no, I'll just sit there and do the work for you." It's like, bro, did you actually contribute anything? Not to this episode, but just to your own character. Did you? No, you just came to get a paycheck, right? Okay, cool. Good episode. Like I said, I didn't really understand too much of what was going on between Sheila and Jack and why Finn can't know who Jack's. Finn can't know that Jack is his father, and what kind of repercussions it has towards, I don't know, his wife or some other woman. I think that was the only part I was a little kind of confused on, but I feel like, as the story progresses, I'll probably know more about it, and I won't just sit there and be like, so, what is that about? I think that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, please write it down in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. I hope everyone has a great, amazing, and safe weekend. I cannot stress the word safe enough. Have a safe weekend, and I will see you in the next video.